threw for 261. It's amazing. He can do it all. And he's the guy that leads this team. But he's not the only guy. Because like I said, the Ravens and 49ers are basically built in the same way, in the same mold. Very physical offensive line that likes to block. You have Frank Gore. You have LaMichael James. You have Michael Crabtree. You have Randy Moss coming out this week and saying he's the greatest wide receiver of all time. But you know that Randy Moss in this game wants to show something. He wants to prove something. And of course, you can't forget about one of the other X factors, and that's Vernon Davis, who's a 6'4", 6'5" tight end that runs a 4.3 or 4.4. Guess what, guys? You put him on a linebacker or a safety, that's a mismatched nightmare, and that's one of the matchups I'm looking at. So basically, right now, their offense is almost like the Baltimore Ravens. And then on the other side, their defense, which nobody has been talking about, is led by Patrick Willis in the middle, another guy that has number 52, who's a young upcoming linebacker. You have Justin Smith, who hurt himself with the triceps injury, who does so many things. They move him on the inside, they move him on the outside, and then Aldon Smith, who has 33.5 sacks the last 2 years. So right now, you can see that this is lining up to be a great game between both of these teams. Now, for me, the matchups are very simple at this point. And these are some of the things that you should be looking for. Again, you're watching the Spyder's Web live from CSB Studios. Now, the defense of Baltimore, can they stop Kaepernick? And I say this guy has only had 9 starts in the NFL. So this is what you do if I'm the defensive coordinator of the Baltimore Ravens. And guess what? I don't want the job because I would not have any chance to have any sleep at all. But this is what you do. You mix up your coverages because this guy has only had 9 starts in the NFL. And every time he wants to run or he stays in the pocket, you hit him, you punish him, you make him think otherwise and trying to run. You force him into some bad throws. Can the Baltimore defense do that against Kaepernick? I'm not sure about that. Now, can Joe Flacco take advantage of this secondary? Because listen, guys, the 49ers secondary was used and abused last week versus Matt Ryan and Julio Jones. He threw for over 300 yards versus that defense. So there are some mismatches in that secondary and then that wide receiving core. And you look at the wide receivers for the Baltimore Ravens. You have Torrey Smith, you have Anquan Bolden, you have Jacoby Jones. All those guys pretty fast. So what I would do if I'm the offensive coordinator of the Ravens is I would try to see if I can take advantage of that secondary matchup. And the way Joe Flacco has played, he hasn't even thrown an interception yet. So this is some of the matchups that I'd be looking at for the Baltimore Ravens. Now, on the other side, the San Francisco 49ers, it's really simple. Okay? You have to put a game plan together to make this defense think that you're going to just run Kaepernick out of the pistol, like he did last week versus the Atlanta Falcons. And to give you an example of this, okay, you run him 2 times and he throws the ball and he's able to throw for 2 touchdowns and he's able to be accurate and he doesn't make mistakes. So you devise a game plan to fool that Baltimore defense. And then when that Baltimore defense catches on that you're going to run the ball, then you start bringing out Kaepernick running all over the place. The other matchup that I will look at that I talked about before is Vernon Davis. Anytime you can put a tight end in a slot or you can spread him out against a linebacker or a safety like a Ed Reed, and listen, Ed Reed is one of the best safeties of all time, but I think he's lost a step. Okay? I'll take that matchup all day long. Watch that matchup with Vernon Davis, Kaepernick to Vernon Davis. Vernon Davis could have a big game because he's basically been silent besides last week when he had 5 catches for 106 yards and a touchdown. So that would be another matchup that I would look at. Now, another thing you have to do is for this 49er defense, they have to get after Flacco because Flacco has played so well. So I think Justin Smith is going to be healthy. He's had a couple weeks to rest, that tricep, and I think he should cause some havoc. Again, they move him inside and out. He causes a lot of penetration, penetrates the line, does a lot of things for Aldon Smith, and Aldon Smith's got to show up. Listen, guys, he doesn't even have a sack in the playoffs, so he's got to show up. And that would be some of the things that I would do. And like I said at the first of the year, it's really easy for me, okay? I think the prediction at this point is going to be the San Francisco 49ers to win this game because, to me, overall, they are the most balanced team. They have the running game. They have a special quarterback, an X factor that can throw the ball deep, can run around, can make plays, can give defensive coordinators nightmares. I think that plays to the advantage of the San Francisco 49ers. And on top of that, people are talking about the Baltimore Ravens as a team of destiny, but I look at this week's media day as a team of disaster. And like I said before, with the whole Ray Lewis thing, with him coming out with all the allegations coming out about the deer antler spray, the onus goes off the Baltimore Ravens as a football team and goes squarely on Ray Lewis. When another media member asked Ed Reed this week if he'd like to play for Bill Belichick, he was talking about playing for the New England Patriots. So for me at this point, I really feel like the Baltimore Ravens, especially their defense, isn't focused on this game. They have their head somewhere else. Listen, it's been a long time since they've been in the Super Bowl. It's Ed Reed's first time. It's Ray Lewis' second time. But I don't think this defense is going to be able to stop the balanced attack of the San Francisco 49ers. And on top of it, I think the 49er defense is going to have something to prove because nobody has talked about them. That's why I'm going to take the San Francisco 49ers to win 24-17 over the Baltimore Ravens. Well, this has been the Spyder's Web. Thank you very much for tuning in live on YouTube and Facebook from the CSB studios. Hopefully you enjoyed the show. Tell me what you think about the matchups. Tell me what you think about the storylines. Hey, if you want to talk about Beyonce at halftime, I'm game. Again, this has been the Spyder's Web. Same Spyder time, same Spyder channel.